Well, hello there, it seems you are back yet again for another budget deck. Well, you are in luck, I have the finest deck brewing for you right now. Tales of Aria is right around the corner, you know what that means? That's right, cards of all the sets are super cheap right now. So I got a question for you, what do you get if you cross Rick Sanchez and Iron Man? That's right, you get a maniacal inventor that has no regards for people's private property. This guy right here agrees. While Jane is busy wrecking blitz armories around the world, Dash is more than capable to bring a gun to a knife fight. So why should you choose Dash as your budget blitz hero? With a little bit of draft chaff and pushing a couple of Majestics in here, you'll soon be reaching speeds that puts the entire Fast and Furious franchise to shame, because you'll be opening an interdimensional rift to the salt mines of your opponents at the speed of sound. How, you ask? Well, it's very simple. Everything in this deck is simply put very efficient. 5 damage for 1 cast, 4 damage for 0, very solid indeed. And that isn't all, because combine 3 of these with a maximum velocity and you are now pushing 20 to 28 damage in a single turn.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Of course, by boosting so many attacks you will be churning through your deck rather quickly, so do be careful when to put pressure and when not to. Otherwise, your deck will burn out faster than an introvert at a pool party. So what do you need to build this despicable pile of evil, you ask? Well, let's get into that right away, shall we? You need to get yourself 2 copies of the following cards. Combustible Courier Red, High Speed Impact Red, Yellow and Blue, Overloop Red and Blue, Pedal to the Metal Red and Blue, Throttle Red and Blue, 0 to 60 Red, Yellow and Blue, Zipper Hit Red, Yellow and Blue. Finally, 1 Overblast. A Mechanologist is nothing without its resourcefulness. They are burning a lot of cards off the top of the deck after all, so pushing your opponent over the finish line is crucial. To do so, Mecha has a plethora of items and combo cards to achieve victory, so get yourself some copies of the following. Induction Chamber times 2, High Octane times 2, Maximum Velocity times 2, Spark of Genius times 2, and finally the jewel of the deck, a single copy of Teklo Core. As far as equipment goes, you always need some Northern equipment, just in case you face up against a Wizard or a Runeblade, but for every other physical damage class, you simply use the following. Hope Merchant Suit, Ardent Crossstrap, Collide Gauntlet, Achilles Accelerator, and of course your weapon, the Teklo Plasma Pistol. So you like this deck and you're planning to buy it? Well, what a coincidence. I actually happen to have a couple of really nice referral links down in the description to a couple of amazing web shops. So why not go and click on one of these when you're going to order the cards? So what are the win conditions of this deck? Well, other than pushing a sheer amount of damage your opponent's way, the deck has 3 distinct win conditions. First of all, you have the maximum velocity win turn. As I've shown earlier in the video, you boost 3 times, you crack your cross trappings and your Goliath Gauntlet, and then you smash your opponent for 12 damage at once. Sometimes with Dominate if you manage to get something like a Pedal to the Metal to hit beforehand. Relying on boosting prowess alone, however, isn't enough to actually win most games. Sometimes you actually need to switch gears halfway into the game and focus your plan on using your Teklo Plasma Pistol as your main source of damage. You have 2 cards in the deck that let you shoot your Plasma Pistol several times in a single turn. First, there is the High Octane that lets you generate action points whenever you boost, and thus lets you attack the pistol several times. But we also have Induction Chamber that can give your weapon go again as an attack reaction. These things are quite resource hungry, but with this deck you are allowed to set up a turn beforehand because you get to put Steam counters on all your stuff. And once you're in the mid-game point, you generally mostly draw blues anyways, which makes it very efficient to keep loading these things up with Steam counters and keep on attacking in. We also run 2 copies of Spark of Genius. These are here to help you set up your induction chambers on the field. However, you could also fetch a Teklo Core if you do happen to be forced to go first. As for my last remark, I do suggest that you go second whenever you can, because the way that this deck is set up, you want to grab the tempo right away. Especially with the 2 resources that the Teklo Core will generate at the start of the first 2 turns. Yes, did I mention, Dash lets you fetch 1 item from your deck at the start of the game and put it onto the field, in which case the Teklo Core is absolutely perfect. If you do have to go first though, it's better to grab the Induction Chamber with Dash instead, otherwise those 2 resources will go rather wasted. So, you've been playing this deck for a while, you've been playing it on a budget and you want to find some upgrades. Well, there are two pieces that I suggest you upgrade first. First of all, you should try and get yourself a legendary Teklo Foundry Heart. This piece is not necessary because its activated ability is something you usually don't want to use anyways. However, having this piece does allow you to block 3 additional damage thanks to its Battle Worn. Having 3 additional damage blocked means that your hero practically starts at +3 life, which means that you have more flexibility, you can block with less cards from hand, and thus having more firepower to throw into your opponent's way during your turn. Getting a second copy of a Teklo Core is also kind of nice. Like, for now I didn't include it into the list because I do want to keep it as budget as possible under the $30 mark, but having 2 copies of Teklo Core is also rather amazing. Eventually you can also start getting yourself something like a Skull Cap, but these things are going for a ridiculous high amount. But you could also go for a Visatronic Majestic from Crucible of War instead. Personally, I think Dash is kind of underrated as a really good deck. I've been playing it a lot at my local armories lately. It's a good deck and I think people should give it more love. Yes, it's a little bit janky by banishing stuff from the top of your deck, however, everything has its weak side after all, doesn't it? Anyways, that's all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed today's budget deck tech. If you're looking to buy any of the cards that I mentioned in the video today, I do have a bunch of referral links down in the description where you can order these cards at Red Riot Games or Fab Foundry. Or you could, if you're in Europe, you could always have a look over at cardtrader.com, even though in Europe the cards tend to be a little bit more expensive than they are over in the States and Canada. So, thanks again for watching. If you have any deck you want me to do next, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will look into it very soon. Take care.